Hey, welcome into the Deuce and Mo podcast. Recording this on a Monday night after kind of a letdown from Golden One Center. The Kings had a chance to clinch a playoff spot tonight. It seemed like everything was going their way. De'Aaron Fox back in the lineup tonight. Anthony Edwards a little banged up. He ends up playing tonight. Cat did not play. Oh, that's good news for the Kings. Oh, Ant was held under 20 points? You must have won the game.
You must have.
No. The T-Wolves got some great performances from their role players, and the Kings defense struggled mightily. Plus, the Kings have a season low in three-point makes. They lose tonight 119-115, and they will not be clinching a playoff spot, at least today. It'll have to wait another day. Hi, I'm Deuce Mason. That's Morgan Reagan. How you doing, Mo?
I'm fine. I'm, I had a feeling. Anytime I said this today, whether it was to you or to anyone else, and I was like, there's a possibility. Like, it's not going to happen. Everyone was so cocky and confident. And it's like, yo, other teams in the NBA are so good. I think I'm more frustrated with that, with everyone's like, no, I believe. And it's like not about believing. It's about like, let's be realistic and break down what's ahead. And there's still tough competition ahead. So I'm very disappointed.
So I hear you say that, and I just disagree. I don't think people were coming into this game cocky. I think people were coming into this game hopeful with the idea of, oh my God, we have a chance to celebrate tonight because of all the things I just mentioned. Fox coming back, Anthony Edwards playing on the second night of a back-to-back, Cat not going. It feels like the stars were aligned for the Sacramento Kings. Oh, and they're at home. It just felt like it had a chance to be magical. So if anything, people went into it more with the mindset of, I'm putting out their good energy. You're about positive vibes. You've got the stupid, what's it called?
Hey.
What? What do you do?
Crystals?
Yeah, crystals. You do the sage. You do all that shit.
Sure.
And we can't put forth like some positivity before the game. Of course,
I'm
people want. I don't think
about
anyone was like, dude, Kings are going to roll, no problem. Minnesota is a very good team.
That happened. No, it did happen. And that's what I think. I think everyone was overlooking at like this matchup has not been good for the Sacramento Kings. And even on the night that the Minnesota Timberwolves came into Golden One Center and they were knocking down threes left and right, it was like, okay, they're not going to shoot like this all the time. That's fine. I thought the Kings adjustments that would have been made would have been stronger than the ones that were made. And I thought they did okay on rotating out on guys. Like you could tell it was a point of emphasis, but man, their perimeter pressure, keeping anyone out of the paint, that shit was not there. And that was frustrating tonight.
It was. I think I was especially frustrated with the fourth quarter defense.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the one where it's like, okay, you're going into the fourth quarter. It's a tie game. You've had to grind this out a bit. You haven't been able to knock down threes. If you can lock in this quarter and go on like some sort of mini run here, the crowd's going to get into it and you should be able to propel yourselves to victory. But there was like possession after possession where you're like, why is this guy getting a straight line drive? Why are you giving up middle? Oh, you didn't get that rebound. Here's 2 offensive rebounds just like that. There were just so many plays that left you scratching your head. And it's like, these can't happen. These type of mistakes can't happen. And those are the type of mistakes that obviously can cost you down the road in playoff series. And tonight,
yes,
with all that said, here's my perspective on it. You shot 5 of 27 from 3. The Kings made 5 3-pointers tonight. By far, the season low.
Yeah.
The season low before tonight was 8. 5. And they played bad defense, and they lost by 4 points.
Yeah.
There's things that obviously you could point to, and I think people are starting to begin to freak out about Minnesota a little bit. And, what if you play them in the playoffs? They're going to sweep you, or what's going to happen?
Creeped into that 6th spot.
I get it. One, the difference between 4 and like 10 right now is nothing. There could be a lot of different. Yesterday it was Golden State. Today it's Minnesota. Could be the Clippers. There's so many different things that can happen between now and the end of the season with that 6th spot. It's the West. Any matchup's going to be tough. But yeah, to your point, tonight, defensively, we know this team's not good defensively, but there were just too many stretches of poor defense. And I think the thing with Mike Brown sometimes is he leans offense more than he leans defense with his lineups. Like, he'll be quick to pull someone, but like down the stretch of this game in the fourth quarter, Malik Monk played a lot of minutes tonight. Malik Monk wasn't playing good defense tonight. He wasn't. And at some point, when you start seeing the repeated mistakes, I don't know that you go to Terrence Davis in the fourth quarter of a game for sure. But like perimeter containment. Okay, maybe I should put a little more size out there. Kessler Edwards has shown the ability to defend the perimeter. Kessler Edwards tonight plays 6 minutes. And so my point, it's not just like a lineup. I think tonight had to do with you missed a ton of threes. Minnesota did a great job with their length, which has definitely bugged Sacramento, no denying it. Fox got off to a great start in this game and didn't do a ton down the stretch. I think the lack of perimeter shooting hurt them. Yeah, it was a bad night for Sacramento.
Yeah, I mean, you just said.
Sorry.
No, I liked everything that you said because you said it all in a nutshell. And I think when you break it down, everything that you were talking about with Malik Monk, yeah, the frustrations there, but Mike Brown and what he trusts and what he doesn't trust at times, he's still, as a coach that has learned a lot over the years, I think sometimes we forget, like, he's still learning this team as each experience comes on. And he mentioned that before the game, talking about how this team needs to learn from every experience, even the experience of knowing that the playoffs were on the line tonight. And how are you going to feed off that energy? How are you going to go into this game mentally? And I think even for Mike Brown, he still, as a coach, is learning how he wants to do things in these big games, in these big moments. And there's a lot that everyone can take from this game.
Yeah, it was clear he's searching with the lineup because tonight, the first big off the bench, Alex Len. Alex Len, who we have not seen in literally forever, especially in any meaningful minutes. Have you seen Alex Len play in a game this year? Sure. But I'm going back right now to look at this season. And he ends up off the bench tonight playing just 7.5 minutes.
The most minutes he's played this year, right?
It's literally he played 13 minutes against Denver.
Okay.
And I think that was that the game Sabonis missed. Remember, he started that game.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's the second most minutes he has played in a game this year. He has not played in many games this year. In fact, coming into tonight, he had played in just 18 games. I was watching it going, I swear, if Alex Len plays well, I'm going to be sitting here tonight going, why didn't you go to him earlier this year? There's been a problem at the 5. It's clear he was not satisfied with Metu or Holmes, especially last night. He's really disappointed with how Metu is playing and decided to go with Len for more size. I would have liked to see some small ball lineups today with Trey Lyles, which we did not see. But rebounding was also a big issue tonight. And that's the thing when I watch this T-Wolves team, I'm like, the length around, McDaniels, who was awful last night against Golden State. He was in foul trouble most of the night. He was impactful, obviously, defensively, trying to handle De'Aaron Fox. But then offensively, he got what he wanted early. He's long. Going back to length. I'm bouncing all over the place. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
The length. You got energy guys like Naz Reid who come in and make an impact. Naz Reid, I love his game because he'll come in, he'll knock down a 3. He was great against Golden State last night, 21 minutes. Tonight, he comes off their bench, plays just about 21, gives them 18 points, 4 rebounds, steal, and a block. Oh, by the way, he went and just jammed it. Dunks super hard, energizes you a little bit.
Doesn't matter who's in front of him.
He's long. Gobert's long. I love slow-mo. Kyle Anderson gives you 15 points, 11 assists tonight. They have length everywhere. Jalen Noel comes in tonight and was just effective. Everything worked for them. They're length bug Sacramento. And to be honest, I thought Sacramento looked like the team that was on the second night of a back-to-back.
Yeah, that's what's frustrating. Them not capitalizing on certain things. Like that, for example, this team's on the road. They're on a second night of back-to-back. They don't have their guy, Cat. That's where the disappointment comes in. There's going to be nights that a team just plays better than you, but they've done this both times now on your home court where they're playing a better style of basketball. They're beating you at your game. I get you're going to miss shots, but it takes a different type of effort on the defensive end. Even if you don't have it, oh, we're not the best defensive team, that's fine. What can you do differently as a guard to push someone out, to make sure that they don't get in the damn paint? And their ability to get in the paint, especially in that fourth quarter, whenever, however they wanted. That was frustrating. That really got me.
It was the perimeter containment was so bad, and then their length to create second chance opportunities at times. Second chance points. The Kings actually won that. Kings also won points in the paint battle, but what was significant was the fourth quarter. Heading into the fourth, the Kings had 54 points in the paint. Amazing number. You want to know how many they finished with?
How many?
Any guesses? 54 going into the fourth.
I didn't look, so I'm going to guess 60.
60.
Ah.
They were 3 of 11 in the paint in the fourth quarter.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's
so
tough.
It was just they were out. They still put up 30 points in the fourth quarter. It didn't feel that way. There's some good things that the Kings did tonight, but we're focusing on what they did not do first because Minnesota deserves a lot of credit. That's the other thing we should be talking about. They came in back to back, won at Golden State, which is not an easy place to play, win at the end of the game. Then they come to Sacramento where the crowd there's 18,000 plus at the game, loud, into it. Everyone kind of walking around going, oh, this is going to be the night we clinch. We're so excited.
Everyone on the verge of tears.
People feeling it. And they came here and had people leaving with like 2 minutes to go. That's a big time. That's a big time win for Minnesota. Oh, and without Cat, I was really impressed with what they were able to do tonight. And it's just tonight when you look at the others of Minnesota, it wasn't Ant dominating. In fact, there were times tonight I felt like I didn't notice Anthony Edwards, and that if anything for Minnesota right now, his first 2 games back, I know he likes to play every single game. He doesn't like missing games, which I truly respect. He looked gassed last night. He didn't look like himself. Tonight definitely did not look like himself, and he ends up with 17 points on 6 of 15. Wasn't super impactful, but dude, Conley, Mike Conley was such a good pickup for them. Such a good pickup.
I mean, you talk about how, especially with Cat out, the amount of time he's been out, what Conley's been able to add.
Steady.
Just super steady, veteran presence, but then can contribute still at a high level, can be that spark at times, and produce. I think we already know what he's capable of, but when he even has nights like this where he's dropping 16 points on you, getting into the paint. 6
of 8 shooting.
Exactly.
Getting into the paint easy, hitting some tough shots, hitting some easy looks. He had that one. There was that miscommunication with Fox and Sabonis. I don't know if Sabonis played off because he had his 5th foul, which is probably the case, which that's the one thing. When Sabonis has 5 fouls late in a close game, he's already doesn't protect the rim. It's so tough when you're getting blown by and your big guy's like, I'm going to back off now and let a guy score.
He let them get in his head. You noticed that right at the end, right? When he started getting those fouls, it was like they were frustration fouls too. Like I know that one that they called an offensive foul. It shouldn't have been, but here's the thing. If they'd reviewed it, they'd have been like, oh, his elbow went into his face. And it's like, it grazed Rudy Gobert's face.
Okay. I was wondering why they didn't challenge it. Because I'm surprised of all the plays in the game, they didn't challenge that one.
Face. That's why.
Yeah. But yeah, you mentioned Conley was 6 of 8 tonight. I thought McDaniels was fantastic. And you knew it was a problem earlier because McDaniels comes in right away, goes 6 for 6. I mean, he pulled Herter fast in this game.
Yeah.
In the first quarter, he pulls Herter. He was the first guy to go out. He puts Kessler Edwards in at right around the 7-minute mark because Herter could not deal with the athleticism. McDaniels did some really crafty athletic moves around the basket tonight. He had a hell of a game. And then all of a sudden, his confidence was up, right? A guy who didn't play well last night, playing with a little bit of an edge, had his confidence up after hitting a couple of shots, and he had it going. Naz Reid, we mentioned already, just a killer.
How do you get Naz Reid? He's a free agent, right?
He's a free agent.
How do you get Naz Reid? How? I want Naz Reid.
I do like Naz Reid. I just think some of the issues the Kings have he may not solve.
Which is the length.
But he's at. I just like his game. I
He
like
can
his game.
stretch the floor.
Yep.
He's athletic. I was more afraid of him in there than Rudy Gobert.
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
You mean in terms of just hurting you in general?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I like Rudy Gobert. I think too many people have dumped on him in his game.
He had some nice
Right.
contests today. That one block he had on Fox
Oh
was
my god.
spectacular.
Hey, Fox had a block on him too.
That was a spectacular play by Fox.
Yeah.
Where Gobert is wide open. He's gonna get an easy 2. Fox comes in and knocks that away. Yeah. The other thing with tonight.
Yeah.
And why Minnesota, I think, is concerning is the stuff we just mentioned. But you know what, man? The Kings have not shot the ball well against Minnesota this year from 3. And tonight, 5 of 27. I think the bigger concern for me, for the Kings, is the 27 attempts. That's low for them. And what that just shows you is what Minnesota does. I mean, you didn't see Sabonis and Herter have a lot of dribble handoff connections.
Mm-hmm.
Their length, they were preventing any of those dribble handoffs. The Kings were trying to get looks in different ways. I felt like the looks that they did take were good looks. Keegan had a few that just
Didn't go. And that was difficult to see too, right? I think going into this game, there's so many fun things on the line. Can Keegan break the all-time rookie record?
Yeah, which he did not. Breaking news: Keegan tonight was 1 of 8, 1 of 6 from 3.
He's 2 away now, so from tying it, 3 from breaking it, and you had that on the line. And when you do look at their 3-point percentage being 18%. It's deflating when you're not making those shots, but it's also deflating when a team is getting wherever the hell they want to get on you. And it was right there in the paint. They were scoring in the paint. It didn't matter if it was a big, if it was Mike Conley. They were getting crafty and scoring in there. And it just, the T-Wolves came in with a game plan, and Chris Finch, they did a fantastic job. But that's what makes me a little nervous when you do look at a postseason run, is that teams are going to make adjustments on how they played you from early on this season. And I believe in the Kings' ability to make their own adjustments. But man, when it screws with their high-powered offense, it screws with their entire game.
I will say this, though. I'm disappointed that Cat was not able to play tonight because
it would have made them worse.
It could have, possibly. It would have made them different. And my point to that, though,
there
is, yeah, I have seen the Kings play Minnesota this year, and I've seen Minnesota do well. But Cat has not played against the Kings this year.
Right.
And Cat will be playing in the playoffs.
Correct.
So it's hard to get a true feel. Obviously, Cat's size and shooting ability, we know how dynamic that could be, but it definitely changes things for them defensively when he's out there. It takes away Naz Reid's minutes. Last night at the end of the game, when Naz Reid's cooking against Golden State, well, they're going to put Cat back in the game. And sure enough, they did. They were able to escape. Cat hit that big 3, but it changes things for them. And it changes Ant's game a little bit too with Gobert out there. So
yeah, it does.
The team that we've seen against the Kings this year is not the team that the Kings could potentially see in the playoffs. So that's the other thing that I kind of think about today. But I thought the threes that the Kings missed were great looks. The other, I would say, encouraging stat for Sacramento was the points in the paint. Minnesota is 11th in defensive rating this year. Pretty known as being a pretty good defensive team. We obviously have seen some of the numbers that back that up against Sacramento. Kings were still able to score in the paint, 60 points in the paint. But it wasn't just that. You know how many free throws the Kings shot tonight?
This is what I love.
They shot 40 free throws.
Love it.
So that was encouraging. The one thing that I thought a little disappointing in the fourth quarter, Minnesota gets into the penalty early. And the Kings didn't totally capitalize on that. Although when they did, Barnes missed a couple of free throws. I think Fox missed them too. Yeah, this game was disappointing. I think it's one of those games that I think more people are freaking out about in terms of potential playoff ramifications if these two teams play. I'm not there yet. The Kings had a bad game tonight, and I'm disappointed that they weren't able to do this in front of the home crowd. This is a game you got to win.
Dude.
And we keep talking about the home losses. The Kings' home record is not. I'm not gonna say it's bad.
But it's not good.
there's 3 teams in the West with absurd, like great home court records: Denver, Memphis, and Golden State. Everyone else is kind of where Sacramento is, but it doesn't make it any less disappointing, especially with like the home court advantage that the Kings can have. So, yeah.
So I thought that maybe this King squad felt that the moment was really big, right? And they could feel that energy in the building. They knew what was at stake. And I think, and I could be totally wrong, I'm just going off of what I saw and how I saw them play the game tonight, that it factored in. Even if they were to say, no, we weren't even thinking about that, I don't know if I would truly believe that. I think something was wearing on them. And I think it was that energy of like, okay, we got to do this. We got to do this. And what I like about that, though, is that they get to experience that big moment and go, okay, how do we change that next time? Because the next big moment is our first playoff game. And how do we wear that differently mentally and physically and not allow that to alter our mentality or our game? And you get to deal with that tonight in the regular season. Saying it like they already clinched, but I mean, you assume that they're going to.
King of Mactown says going up 1 point and then being down 6 was annoying. They kept doing it. Yeah, they could not get any separation. The T-Wolves' biggest lead was 13. The Kings' biggest lead was 3.
So annoying.
Some of the numbers tonight from Sacramento: they shoot 46%, but they were just 5 of 27 from 3, 18.5%. They were 32 of 40 from the line. They technically did out-rebound Minnesota 42-40. Kings' assist numbers, I don't have a stat in front of me, but I can tell you anytime the Kings have 17 assists, that's not a good thing, especially for this team that is seemingly like every night around 30. Part of that is they missed a shit ton of threes. We get that. They had problems with turnovers early in this game, big time.
Yeah.
They end up only having 10 total in the game.
Love it. And that's what's it. If you looked at this box score, you'd probably be like, oh, okay, must have been a close game, whatever. It never
did.
The T-Wolves always felt in control.
Even when the Kings got the lead, the Kings couldn't get a stop.
Yeah.
There's no stops.
It was deflating defensive possession after another for the Sacramento Kings. And it didn't feel, and I think the other reason why it didn't feel good, like so many people bought that extra ticket, took that extra night off to go hang out in Doco if they couldn't get a ticket. Like so many people wanted to be a part. And then there's some people who are just there and it's like, you're a fair weather fan, get the hell out of here, whatever. There's a few of those. But like at the same time, everyone wanted to be a part of the big moment, and the big moment didn't happen. I think that's also why we're feeling even worse about this type of loss.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the lineup of Minnesota right now. Now I need to pull up their roster just to double check something, because I'm looking at who the Kings played off the bench tonight.
Yeah.
Alex Len played 7:30, whatever. Kessler plays just under 6 minutes. Davion plays under 13 minutes. And my point to that is, we're talking about some of these guys who could play defense, yet they didn't play any substantial minutes. Part of it you could make a case Minnesota's size. Kyle Anderson, 6'9", Nikhil Alexander-Walker, 6'5", Edwards at 6'4", Gobert 7'1", McDaniel 6'9", McLaughlin, they didn't play a lot, 6 foot. Noel 6'4". Okay, and they didn't have Torian Prince tonight either. We should have mentioned that.
Oh yeah.
Naz Reid 6'9". They've got good size, but I guess my point is, I think you could play Kessler more. I honestly think the other thing tonight, the way things were kind of going, where you couldn't really get things in it, and Herter was in foul trouble. Herter picked up his 5th foul early in the third on a bullshit foul on Mike Conley. But
yeah.
I don't understand how that's a foul in today's game, especially picking up your 5th. The guy played good defense. Conley created the contact. Whatever. But I think tonight I would have gone to TD.
I know.
I would have gone to TD
That
because
spark.
how many times have we seen him just kind of come in and give you a lift with his chaos, right? And sometimes it's bad chaos. Sometimes there's mistakes, but there's also times he gets in there and he plays aggressive. No one's going to question his effort. He could have given you a little juice. And when things aren't going and no one's really in a great groove, people aren't knocking down shots, I understand you want to trust that they can get out of it. But the other thing is, tonight you needed some sort of stops. I would have thrown TD in there. I would have played Kessler Edwards a little more. I sound like I'm just being hindsight 2020 guy, but I'm being honest
You're
here.
you're also searching because but look, like I hate going to this because I think it's lazy, but it's true. Sometimes you're just gonna have nights like this, and when you're missing shots the way that they were missing shots tonight, like you said, shot selection wasn't terrible. There were some shots that looked good. They're going in and out. I would say that consistently they weren't creating too many enough great shots with the way that Minnesota made adjustments defensively to slow down DHOs, to slow down the way that they were going to come off of screens.
I hear you, and I kind of heard you. I'm sorry. I guess just saw someone's comment.
No, I saw you.
Okay, you haven't done that tonight? You haven't done that tonight?
No.
Say sorry.
I didn't. I haven't done that
Morgan,
tonight.
I'm going to be honest. I feel like you're gaslighting me right.
Why don't you tell me why you couldn't listen to me?
I just saw a comment that I wanted to address. Is that big of a deal?
Yes, because you're still addressing it.
So, hey, Morgan, sometimes you know what you can do in those situations is just kind of have my back.
Do
No, you could have
Can
just
I read
had
the
my
comment?
back. Yeah, after I
Okay.
I made a typo, but
Who cares?
so this guy's comment to me, please apologize tomorrow on the show. Considering your ridiculous behavior when you heard Cat wouldn't play and Ant may not play, you wouldn't stop screaming light the beam like they already won. The Jazz were undermanned last week in Utah and the Kings lost.
Why does it bother you?
Because
it's funny. It's not your fault, stupid.
No, but people also they take things so serious when you say things. I'm clearly joking around on the radio today, going light the beam.
You and Chris
I'm
chanting
clearly doing it, and I'm like, no, we gotta believe, Morgan. This is our time. I'm trying to fire people up, get people juiced for a game, and people act as if I'm sitting there just
like you're the
being dead
reason.
serious. Yeah, it's like, what are we doing?
Apologize.
Yeah,
apologize. No, and it's funny because look at us really quick. Good. We're trying, not we, everyone tries to find things to blame, to figure out. Like, look how even you're going like, man, I would have played TD and Kessler Edwards. I'm not even disagreeing with that.
Yeah.
Then you got people online that are saying like, man, you shouldn't have been chanting light the beam from earlier. But then I also, you guys, was saying on the show earlier, I was like, I'm afraid of jinxing things. I'll never do the little emoji of the purple light and the flashlight before a game because I stopped saying light the beam to people before games because I'm always like, I got to save it for after games. And I posted a photo of me doing work with NBC tonight, and I posted the emojis, and I'm like, we lost because of me.
See, I don't believe
obviously that's not why.
I don't believe in jinxes. The other thing, I thought the Kings were going to win tonight. Oh my God, I'm wrong. Oh my God.
You weren't the only one. There's other people we talked to before the game that thought that it was in the bag.
I mean, I thought they were going to win.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be easy.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to win.
Yeah.
Because they probably should have won tonight.
Mm.
But, hey, credit where credit's due.
I like it. Adam says playoffs are playoffs. Clinch whenever so we can celebrate tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you. And that's the other big perspective. I said this on social media. We've waited 16 years. We can wait a couple more days. It would have been sweet at home. It was disappointing. There's some things to clean up.
Yeah.
Some of the concerns we're having about the Kings right now, and I think that's why I'm not freaking out necessarily. These are the same concerns that we've talked about all year. We're like, oh, wow, they're struggling with the team with length. Yeah, okay. This is the roster. This is it. There's no other moves to be made. This is who they have, and you're going to have to live with it. We've lived with it this year. It's been pretty fun. They've got 45 wins, and their magic number is 1. They're about to clinch a playoff spot. Next time they win, they secure a top 6 spot and home court advantage throughout the first round. That's the perspective I'm having. Doesn't mean I'm accepting it. Like I had someone hit me up today just talking about that just a little bit ago. It's like, yeah, but it's bigger than the playoffs. No, I understand that, but you have to get in first. I'm not saying I'm satisfied. You have to get in first, and then you have to grow. And yeah, there's going to be moves that have to be made in the offseason, but the reality of the situation is they're still in a good spot, and they're going to clinch soon, and it'll be fun. It would have been more fun tonight. It didn't happen. Oh, well.
Oh, man. Tough. Especially, there's just so many things ready for this team to clinch, and you could feel it in the building with people, and then you could just feel the deflation in that fourth quarter.
There's some conspiracy theories out there.
About what?
Well, Vivek was not at the game today.
Why?
He has pneumonia, according to Mark J. Spears.
No.
So there's some thought that maybe Vivek was like, you cannot win this.
Great point.
I'm not there tonight, so you guys don't get to
win.
clinch. I have waited 10 years to see a damn playoff team. I've dealt with all this. I have to see it, and I'm sick. If I can't be there, we're not winning. Watch. He can't go to the next road trip. The Kings don't clinch until he's healthy in the last game of the season. He said we couldn't win. Vivek said we couldn't do it.
You gotta listen, man.